A$AP Rocky is obviously not guilty. We already talked about it. And also, he's hinting heavily at dropping Don't Be Dumb very soon. We're here all over again, but today we're going to be talking about Don't Be Dumb, A$AP Rocky's new album, hopefully dropping very, very soon. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So last video, we went over the court case, over the whole scene of A$AP Rocky being announced not guilty in the case against shooting A$AP Rally.
Not guilty.
Now, this was a pretty big moment for not only Rocky personally, because obviously not being sentenced to multiple years in prison is a pretty cool thing, but also if we take a look at the music, which in this case can seem a little cynical. Obviously, 99% of the excitement is on him being free and on him being there for his children and for his wife. And that should be the way that it actually is supposed to be. But obviously on this channel, we're talking about the music, so we have to take a look at the music. Now, I talked about in the last video about this not guilty verdict being one of the main reasons that Don't Be Dumb hasn't dropped yet. This also takes away one of the main arguments that Rocky has had for not dropping the record, besides sample clearance issues, which we talked about quite extensively, which at this point nobody can take that seriously anymore. Of course, there are exceptions, but the court case was probably the biggest thing that prevented him from dropping the album. And now that it is kind of over, we can tell that he's also more excited to drop this thing, because immediately after being announced not guilty on February 19th, he tweeted out, "Don't be dumb" on X. Now, this is something that we haven't gotten in a very long time, as he was always very quiet on the new music. So him immediately jumping on social media and saying something like this is a pretty good sign that he knows the album is still there. He knows that it is supposed to be coming out. And I mean, if you take a look at the refund, messages that people got from the stuff that was already up on the store for the August 30th release date, we can tell that they have to drop something, because those people didn't get a monetary refund. They only got a coupon to spend in the store when the album actually drops. So we know that something would have to come for those people not to have been, kind of scammed. Now, also, we did get a new snippet from Rocky that we so far call Nothing Alike. Here's a listen to it if you haven't heard it yet. Now, to me, this sounds pretty cool. This sounds like some classic Rocky that, we've kind of been wanting for a very long time. We also do have another snippet, but I believe we've had this for some longer time. If you do have a source for this, let me know. But here it is.
Don't spit it out. Don't spit it out. Don't spit it out. Don't spit it out.
Now, this also sounds pretty good, and obviously all of these could be really big hits if he decides to put these together in a way that makes sense. So hopefully he does decide to drop this record with the songs that people would want to hear, and doesn't just scrap the entire project because of some little things that got leaked, because in that case, he would have just, kept us from hearing the entire record that maybe would have been so much better. Now, also a producer that we know he's working with quite closely, he's also hinted at this in past interviews last summer, right before the record was about to drop. I believe it was in his GQ cover story. He talked about Metro Boomin, and he talked about how he had an album with Metro Boomin worth of songs, like the amount of songs that could make up an album. There's not an album per se right now, but he said that there could be, because they're working so much together. And now Metro also posted a picture of him and Rocky in the studio with the caption, "Don't be dumb." So we also know that Metro is going to be involved in the production and in the process of this record. Now, hopefully the majority of this project is produced and done because we would want to get it very soon, and it had a release date of August 30th, so it's not like they should be in the studio right now still recording it. But it's a good sign because Metro is a pretty good producer. Now, one more interesting thing that I did want to tell you guys is that right after being announced not guilty, we did get the announcement that Rocky had become the first ever creative director for Ray-Ban, so the sunglasses brand, which is pretty big. We know obviously fashion is a big thing for Rocky. We know that he's taken on the role of creative director in the past, but this time to be the first ever at a brand is pretty big. Now, also to have this announced right after you kind of get freed of your court case and all the troubles that come with it is also a pretty big dub. And maybe this could also mean that he's taken the momentum. He wants to seize the opportunity of being not guilty to then also apply to the record. As I said, by this time it should be done. Now, we also have, as I talked about in the last video as well, which I do want to stress again because it plays such an important role for both Cardi, who we just talked about, who we know will likely be dropping March 7th, which is interesting because of his merch shipment details and also because of Rolling Loud California, which is happening 14th through the 15th of March. And we know that Rocky is also headlining the Saturday. So we could also then have that event as one of the main events for this new album as well. Either when it comes to him dropping, maybe just a single before that he then gets to perform, or even of him just mentioning the project on a stage. Because we know that just like for Playboi Carti, Rolling Loud is pretty important to A$AP Rocky. In the past, he's really had some great performances at Rolling Loud and also a lot of times played new snippets or even talked about new albums coming. So in this case, I could see this happening again. Even if we don't get anything before March 14th, I do believe that day could then be pretty important when it comes to the new record because we would likely get some sort of new details on it that we didn't get before. So all things right now are looking pretty good. We know that Rocky still knows that the album exists. We know that there's snippets floating around that he would want to get out there. And we know that producers close to him are now also promoting the record, or at least saying that they're going to be on it, like Metro. So it's actually looking better than in a very long time, but obviously it's still not very good. We still don't have a release date. It's still like 3 years overdue, so it's not like this is like a positive situation, but I'll keep you guys updated if we do learn anything more about this. I'm really excited for this. Rocky at one point in time was my favorite artist, so it's always a special connection to him and his music, and when it does come out, I'll be excited. No matter how long we waited, I'll be very hyped for it. But I do want to know what y'all think about this. Are you excited for Don't Be Dumb by A$AP Rocky, hopefully dropping very soon? And what do you think of the new snippets? Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.